Hi guys, welcome to the Hersey House. And today we're going to be talking about using local variables to hide or show items based on what you click. So we're going to take a look at make.powerapps.com. We're going to create properties that allow us to show or hide a box when you click a button. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to change this background color so we can see a little bit better. All right. So we're just going to throw in a couple items. We're going to go up here to insert. We're going to throw in a couple buttons. And then we're just going to put in a couple labels. Or you know what? Let's put in text box. Shows up a little bit better. All right, so we have our two items, and essentially what I want to do is when I click this button right here, I want these two items to show up. Okay, so when I click this button, I want this text input box to pop up and this button to pop up. Other than that, I want it to be hidden, and the only thing that I want to show is this piece right here until they click this particular button. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to use local variables. Now, a set command is a global variable. For a local variable, we're going to use it's called update context. So what we're going to do, first things first, we have to tell our button what we're going to do. So go ahead and click on the button. Make sure the property is on select. And so notice right now it's currently set to false, which means if we select this button, nothing's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two variables. So we're going to say update context. And the first thing I want to call it, you're going to name your variable. So in this case, I want to add this text box. So I'm just going to call it add box. Okay. But it's very important, and I didn't do this, you have to put a curly brace in before your variable. So parenthesis, let me zoom in so you guys can see. Parenthesis, and then the curly brace, and then you're going to name your variable. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say what the value is. So when they click this button, I want to set the value of add box to equal what? I want it to equal true. And then I'm going to close my curly brace. And then I'm going to close my parenthesis. So what this has done is it's created a local variable called add box. When I click this button, add box is being set to the value of true. Now, I don't just have this box I want to hide. I also want to hide this button as well. So I need to create a button or a variable for this button. So a semicolon allows you to start one command and then go on to the next one. So I'm going to expand this formula bar a little bit. Shift enter goes to the next line. And we're going to do another update context. This time, I'm going to say, I'm going to call this hide button. And once again, I'm going to set this value to true. So when this button is selected, we're going to create two variables, one called add box and the other called hide button. We're going to set those values to true when we click this button. All right. Now let's move on to the text box. So we actually can do both of these at the same time under the visible command. Notice that both of these are set to visible. Well, I don't want them visible all the time, right? So when someone clicks that button, I want these to appear. So what we're going to say for this is going to be an if statement. So if, move this cursor out of the way. If add box, if add box equals true, meaning the button was clicked, right? Add box is equal to true when the button is clicked, then I want you to show this, meaning true again. Else, I want you to hide it, which is false. Once again, let's go through this code. So when this button is clicked, okay, the button right here, then add box is equal to true. That's what we set our variable to, right? So then we're saying these items down here, if add box is equal to true, meaning the button was clicked, then I want to show the items. If not, I'm going to select false. What happened? Accidentally delete it. Sorry about that. If add box is equal to true, true, false. All right. Now, the Alt key allows you to interact with your screen without having to go to play. So I'm going to hold the Alt key down and notice the button is highlighted now. And I get the little hand icon. I click the button and there my items appear. So perfect. But what if I wanted this button right here to disappear when this button pops up? Right? So I want this one gone when this one shows up. Well, how can I do that? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this button. And once again, we're going to go to the visibility property. So visible. Right now it's set to true, but we're going to change that. We're going to say another if statement. If add box is equal to false, then I want you to show it. Else, I want you to hide it. Now, notice that the button is now removed. So because this part right here is showing, my button is now gone. Okay, that's the code we just put in. All right, well, what if I want to get this thing back? Right, what if I want to go, well, a real easy solution for this is to just throw an icon in there. Let's throw this cancel icon in here real quick. And what we're going to say is on select, and this is a real, we're just going to take our update context and we're going to reverse it. So on the for the first time, we said update context, add box, set it to true. Update context, hide button, set it to true. In this case, it's just the opposite. So when you do that, it basically undoes what you selected. So we're going to say update context, add box, false, curly, parenthesis, semicolon, we'll shift enter. We're going to do that again for the hide button. So all we're doing is we're setting our variables to false now so that it resets what we did. And that's it. So then if we hold down the Alt key and select the X, notice that Now we have our single input item. When I select the button, there we go. So that's a real quick way on how to use variables in a local setting to help you add or show items based on what you want to do. Obviously, if we wanted to continue that, we would just change the next variable name, right? Instead of add box, we would say add box 1 or hide button 1 or hide button 2. The more you have, you just have to change the variable name. But essentially, you could have as many items as you want. Well, thank you for joining the Hersey House. I'm Jeremiah Hersey, and I'll see you next time.